faster. I'm going to show you how to go through and put some dotted lines on here and make this really nice and not painful to graph. Okay. First thing I always start with is this right here. This is the principal axis at 1. So I'm going to make myself a little dotted line, and that's going to be my middle line, right? And then the second number I'm going to look at here is this 3. This is second. That's how far up and down I'm going to go. Whether that's positive or negative, it's still going to go up 3. If that was negative 3, I'd still go up 3 and down 3. It's positive 3. I'm going to go from this principal axis, from this +1, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 units. Like this here. And I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3 units down here. These are going to be the top, middle, and bottom of the graph, of these graphs here, okay? And then this 2x basically just says we're going to get through 2 full cycles by the time we get to 360, okay? So what I like to do is I could take 360, divide by whatever number's in front there. I know I'm going to get through 1 full period of this thing here in 180 degrees. So right here is going to be where it's going to repeat. So I'm going to actually put little tick marks in here, which I actually have already got these little dotted lines here. But okay, now we're starting with, it's a sine curve. So we know that sine always starts at 0. And if it's positive, it goes up. If it's negative, it goes down. This one is positive. So really, I know that right here at the end, not at the end, here, let's use different colors so we can see this better. Okay, so we're going to start here at 1. And then I know that after I've gone through 1 full cycle, 180 degrees, it's going to be back where it started, right? Because I know that sine theta, the sine graph looks like this. Remember, it goes looks just like that. So I know it's going to start by going up, coming back down, and going through this here. Okay. I know that halfway through it's also going to be at 0. And then halfway between these 2 points, since it's positive, it's going to be at the top here. Okay. And then halfway between those 2 points, it's going to be at the bottom. Okay. And then I can just repeat this because it's just going to be it's periodic. It's going to do the exact same thing here. So I start at 0, end at 0. Halfway between, I'm at 0. It's actually officially 1, but I'm kind of thinking of this one up here. Halfway between these points, I'm going to be at the top. Halfway between these points, I'm going to be at the bottom. And now I'm just going to connect the dots. And remember, this is not a zigzag. It should have some curve to it. I kind of messed up the curve on this one right here. It should come down. Oops. Should be a little bit more curved like that. Okay. And then for this one over here, cosine, I know that my cosine graph looks like this. Starts at 1, goes down, comes back up, and ends at 1. Okay, goes down to -1, ends at +1, kind of a little flatter right there. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, start with this. -2 is going to be my principal axis. That's going to be my middle. Okay. And then from there, I'm only going to go up a half and down a half. Doesn't matter about the negative. That's going to just tell us which direction that's going to start. So I'm going to go up a half right here. I know it's really skinny here, but that's okay. And then I'm going to go down also a half. Okay. Again, these little lines, dotted lines, I know look pretty big, and they're not perfectly straight, but we'll be okay. All right, so... And then now 4x, 360 divided by 4, means I'm going to go through a full cycle every 90 degrees. So right here is where it's going to repeat. So I'm going to probably actually want to go halfway in between these points here as well, so that I like to get my my 5 points in there. My beginning, end, middle, and then halfway in between each of those. Here's what I mean. Cosine normally starts at 1. Since it's negative, it's going to start at -1, or in this case, the bottom. So it's the first part that's going to be is at the bottom. I know that every full period, 90 degrees, it's going to be back at the same place. So I'm going to put one there, another 90 right there, another 90, and another 90. Halfway in between these 2 points, it's going to be at the opposite side. So normally, it starts at the top and goes halfway between, it's at the bottom. So now since we're starting at the bottom, halfway between, we're going to now be at the top. So the top is just this top dotted line, halfway in between, at the top, halfway in between, at the top, halfway in between, at the top. And then I know that, so between starting at the bottom, ending up here, I know that halfway in between these points, I'm going to be back in the middle. Okay, and then halfway between these points, I'm also going to be back in the middle. So all these spots here are going to be in the middle. Now, I am going to highly suggest you go through and make all your dots first, because I often will get students that will go through and say, oh, I kind of know what it looks like. I don't need to make all the dots. And their graph 99 times out of 100 ends up all wonky. So just make your dots and connect your dots, and you'll be good. And try to make it, show it so that it's got some kind of curve, not just don't draw straight lines. That's pretty much the only thing you have to not do, is just draw straight zigzags. So as you can tell, mine's not perfect. This one didn't even come close, but you get the main idea here. Okay? So that is sine and cosine functions. Okay? If you have any further questions on any of these, please feel free to ask.